Radio Bypass, bringing you rock and roll music that deserves to be heard. Discover new bands. Here's some old favorites on Radio Bypass.
Hey guys, today we've got a rock star, a movie star, now a comic book star, an all-around good guy hanging out with me here today, Mr. Ron Keel. How you doing, Ron? Welcome back to Radio Bypass.
I'm doing great, Ralph. Thanks for having me. Hello to you and all your audience. It's great to have our annual checkup on Radio Bypass with you, my friend. You're a good man, and thanks for the support, for playing the new song on the show, and for having me back on to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely, Ron. Well, I so am in love with The Last Ride. It's freaking killer. But before we talk too much about that, I thought let's just back up a little bit to where we left off, which was at the time that we were last here, your movie was just coming out. And I know now it's available on DVD, but I thought we'd talk about that a little bit, see how the beginning of the end went for you.
Oh, well, I can't tell you how it ends, but this is how it begins. And it was a great experience for me. Really nice to have it in my hand and share it with the fans. We enjoyed the premiere at a really nice theater in Seattle in July. And now RFK Media, my company, has released it on DVD. That's available at rfkmedia.com. And the story is basically the villain is AI, and it all takes place on the night or the day that AI turns human beings against each other. So an interesting concept, and I enjoyed the role. You know, I play the guy next door, not a rock star type of role, really a military vet who's a diesel mechanic, a single father, and an ordinary guy next door thrown into a very intense and unusual situation. And gets a little bloody. And one thing I did well in my role in the film, Ralph, was I got to scream a lot. I got to scream a lot in this movie. Me and my RFK Media team and my wife and my assistant Brandon, we're all in the rental car on the way home from the theater. They're all making fun of me, going, ah! That was my line. I had more lines than that, but that's the one that really sticks out.
Gotcha. Well, I'm definitely going to have to order this because I did not see it in the theater, of course, but I've got to check it out. I've got to see your performance and your screaming.
Oh no, don't watch it, man. It's really scary. I mean, scary in a really scary way. It's really scary.
The fact that the concept is AI, because I think so much about it, and I feel like anything that's in that movie could really be right around the corner now. It's moving. AI is moving so fast.
It really is. And the technology comes back to haunt us in this film, kind of like the comic book as well. I can give away at least a little bit of the story and the fact that AI is also the villain in the comic book. Now, the comic book and the movie aren't really related other than that common villain, which is AI. So I thought it was only appropriate to do an AI music video for the new single, The Last Ride.
Right. And I was going to mention that, and I like that it included Steeler's name on a marquee in the video. That was very nice.
Yeah, the comic book and the video, the music video. The music video, it is AI, but it's kind of like a comic book come to life. So it's animated, so to speak. And as in the comic book, we take these time travel journeys back to the 80s heyday, and it shows Steeler in Hollywood, also shows Keel at Madison Square Garden opening for Bon Jovi. So, and I keep flashing back to these moments in time, and it kind of takes us full circle, hence the title of the song and the comic book, The Last Ride. And the song was a really special piece for me. It really embodies what the Metal Cowboy is all about. It's got that metal crunch and energy and drive and up-tempo rocker with some southern rock and country flavors thrown into it. Travis Toy from Rascal Flatts played the dobro tracks on that session. So having that dobro sounds like a southwestern kind of cowboy sound mixed with the metal guitars. I think it's a home run, and I appreciate you playing it again and the fans for embracing it, listening to it. Now, the song was written 10 years ago and released on my album Metal Cowboy, but RFK Media has recently reissued that album digitally, remastered, reissued, so it's available on Spotify and iTunes and all those other platforms, Amazon. So it was a great way to tie everything together. Keel World, my latest album. You'll see the album cover, the orb, we call it, the satellite, whatever nickname you want to give that thing. It's floating around on the cover of the comic book. It's on the cover of the new album, Keel World, and it's also in the music video as well. So we kind of tied everything together and called it The Last Ride. And I thought, what a great way to tie the album, tie both albums together with the song and the comic book. And I can't give away the ending in the comic book. Maybe I can. I guess I'm the boss, right? I can say what I want.
I won't make you.
But I wanted them to kill me off in the book. I wanted the final scene to be me losing the battle against AI, which could be stranger than fiction. It could come true. We're all losing that battle as we speak. But I wanted them to kill me off in the book, and the guy who wrote it refused to do that because they might want a sequel. So
there you go.
It might be the second to last ride, the next to last ride,
or next to last ride. Exactly. No, that's good. But yeah, I mean, I like I say, I'm interested in the whole thing because I am perplexed by this AI, and I saw, but I didn't have time today to read the story. But something about Paul McCartney even putting out a new song, and it has something to do with AI trying to replace musicians or something, I guess. I only caught a little blurb about it, but so I don't know really what's right about that till I have a chance to read it. But what I do know is AI created music versus human created music, is probably happening already. I haven't checked it out, but I'm sure
it's here, Ralph. The number one song on the country downloads chart is a song called Walk That Walk by, what's the name of I forget the name of the artist, but it's not a real artist or a real song. It's got 3 million plays on Spotify this week.
Oh my God.
So it is a bona fide number one on the Billboard chart by an artist who does not exist. Technology has been replacing people's jobs for a long time. I mean, the smartphone really put the photographers out of business. I mean, these things take better pictures than our big fancy Canon cameras do.
Right.
So the smartphone literally put the photographers out of business, and I guess the musicians are next.
Yeah, well, so many things, I think, as far as AI goes. I mean, I'm worried about not, I mean, all that's going to be left for anybody to earn a living eventually is like a service job that pays minimum wage or something. I don't know how we're going to survive.
I'm a dinosaur, man, and I'm glad that I lived through the era that I did. And now there's more behind me than there is in front of me, because I'm not sure how any of us are going to adapt to what happens in the next 10 years. But like I said, technology has been replacing jobs for a long, long time. Just go to the checkout line at Walmart. And it's a tool that can be used for good as well as evil.
Right.
Just like a knife can be used to spread butter or to kill someone.
Right.
And where I draw the line, I believe, is when it's misleading people. I think that's a crime. The legislation has to catch up to the technology, but I'm afraid it won't, because now you're seeing things that you don't know if they're real or not. You don't know if it's AI. The technology has come so far just in the last few months. The guy who did our new video, Jason McCorston at RFK Media, he did a music video for our band, The Fifth, with Roy Cathy over the summer. And the song was Haunted Heart.
Right.
And it was so real. I don't think I saw one comment on that. And the video got a lot of play and a lot of views. I don't think I saw one comment with people bitching about it's AI, because it looks so real. And Jason told me when we set on this new video project, he said, man, the technology has come leaps and bounds in the last 4 months since we did that previous video. And now we were able to do a lot more with it. And of course, it's going to have great applications, especially in the medical field and other. Maybe it'll find a cure for cancer. Who knows? But when it's misleading people, I think it should be a crime to simulate someone's likeness and try and fake people into thinking it's really that person. You can't believe anything you see or hear or read anymore. So
No.
that is a sad day for all of us, when you used to be able to have a little faith in what you were seeing. Seeing is believing, right? Not
Yeah.
anymore.
No, not anymore. And I thought about exactly that phrase just the other day, that used to be what we got taught as kids. Well, seeing is believing, son.
That's right.
And
That's
now
right.
you can't say that. Seeing is not believing.
Yeah.
And you have to go, and it's so much harder to vet everything now.
It is,
what's
and that's with my video, The Last Ride. It's obviously animated. It's it's not like we're trying to fool anybody into thinking I'm doing all those fight scenes and motorcycle
that's not
jumps
your
and
cool
whatever.
motorcycle? No? Oh man, I thought it was.
I wish. I mean, it would have cost $1 million to produce a real music video with all that content. So I think it's fun. It's entertaining. It's like comic books. That's not real. It's created by an artist, and we employed 5 artists on this project, 4 for the comic book and 1 for the video. So those artists are getting paid for their work. It's not like we're putting people out of a job. Well, maybe the camera guy and the makeup person and all those other people that work on the video shoots, they're shit out of luck, man. But it is what it is. It's part of evolution of our culture, and it's always been happening. I'm sure that the guy who was making horse-drawn wagons for a living was pretty pissed off when they invented the automobile, and put all those wagon makers out of business. And I'm sure the dinosaurs were bitching when the asteroids coming down. They're all probably bitching, what the hell? But it wiped them out anyway, So
Right.
bitching about it is not going to help, man. You got to roll with it and embrace it, and hopefully, just don't trust what you see or read or hear anymore. My music comes from the heart. We use technology. Electricity is technology. I mean, the electric guitar was invented. It changed the world, right? And that was an evolution of the musical instruments, the same as the synthesizer. When the synthesizer was invented, all of a sudden the keyboard player could make string sounds.
Right.
Or organ or piano or whatever. He put all these people out of work with that one keyboard, because it can sound like an orchestra with the string patch and the violins and the cellos and all that. And that was, 50 years ago that we had to adapt to that new technology. So it is a blessing and a curse. I try and use it for good. It's a superpower. If you use it for good, it's okay. But when you're misleading people and trying to fool them, then I think it's wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree. And obviously, I mean, there is a lot of, like you said, maybe a cure for cancer someday. I mean, there is a lot of good that can come out of it, but it's just what I'm mostly worried about, I think, is just wiping out jobs for people. That's my biggest concern. Like you said, 10 years down the road, I still have a young daughter. I'm worried, is she going to be able to keep earning a living,
Yeah.
in 10 years? I don't know how
she's going to have to follow in your footsteps and be a content creator, right? I mean,
that's right.
There's a lot of money in this radio business, Ralph, right?
Big zero. Yeah. That you can be just like a musician or a podcaster, right? Make nothing.
Yeah. I used to work in the corporate world, doing a serious job, making $3,000 a week. And I figured, why should I do that when I can make that much in a year playing music?
Exactly. Why not? But let's face it, the music's much more fun and feels good. I think about that all the time. Like I love doing this podcast that I do, because even though it's not like when I was on the radio, I'm sad that I'm not playing a new Keel song and reaching 250 million people every 15 minutes or something. It's not like that anymore in this world. But if I can even find a few people that know something new is out from a piece of music that I love, it's worth my time that I invest.
I feel the same way, Ralph. It's quality, not quantity. And I've got a hardcore group of fans at patreon.com/Ron Keel. That's my online headquarters where I hang with my tribe. And these people are intensely loyal and supportive and positive. And, there's no haters in there. So it kind of weeds out the fringe people that don't understand me or don't like what I do. And there's only, the 800 members on my Patreon, and I treasure and value every one of them. But there used to be 800,000. Yeah. Back in the day, we had millions of album sales, and that ship has sailed. It's gone forever. You just have to roll on and adapt to it. And luckily, I'm still able to make a living. I'm working really hard, doing a lot of different stuff, making movies and making comic books and making music, running RFK Media and KRFK Radio, our station, which is doing really well, and signing some great new bands that I hope that you'll have on the show in the months to come.
Yeah,
Generation Landslide, great band out of Las Vegas. Man, these guys are fantastic. It's a great record. The band is fronted by Anthony White from Cold Sweat. He's the drummer in Cold Sweat, but he's the frontman, lead guitar player, lead singer of Generation Landslide. And it's just an awesome record. I can't wait for you to hear it and play it on your show. And Bad Marriage, another band that we've signed, that has a new album called Match Made in Hell coming out in a few months. And this album, it just blew me away. I knew that it's a great band, and the fans love them. Really smart, really hard, the hardest working, loudest, rudest young American rock band with Tommy Skeoch from Tesla on lead guitar. So they got all the bases covered. But when I heard the record, they sent me the final copy. I was really blown away. It's a great combination of, powerful American rock and roll music, loud, rude, raw, but really intelligent, well produced, well crafted by some really talented people and some great songs and all that. Man, it's got everything. And I can't wait for you to hear it and share it with your audience. And we're anxious to put that thing out early 2026 and get Bad Marriage and Generation Landslide. Those releases need to be heard and they need to be available to the public. So that's going to keep me busy for the next couple of months, getting those projects released and promoted properly.
Right. Well, I'm excited about that. Yeah, I saw that you were involved with Bad Marriage, and I've played some of their earlier stuff from before Tommy was in the band, and even that stuff's really good. So I can only imagine how much better this is probably going to be. And Generation Landslide, I wanted to ask you about that because I saw that band mentioned, and I'm not familiar with them. So I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, they are fantastic, and we're really lucky to have such talented groups on our roster. I believe in working hard to support new music, and that's not just. I mean, maybe it's not a good business model. I'm not sure because that hard rock audience is a little older. They're our age, and trying to sell new music to older people may not be a winning formula, but I feel compelled to do it because I love and need new music in my life. Of course, I'll go back to Van Halen 1 and Judas Priest, Stained Class, and some of my favorites when I was growing up. But at least one day a week, and we did it on Saturday around the house here, I had the PA system on and listened to about 8 hours of new music, songs that I'd never heard by some of the artists I'd never heard of. And really, that feeds my soul. It makes me fall back in love with music again, just like when I saw the Beatles for the first time, or heard Led Zeppelin, or Black Sabbath, or Kiss, or Alice Cooper. I need that feeling, just the feeling of falling in love. And you're kind of addicted to it. Yes. And I'm happily married, so that's the only thing I have to fall in love with now is new music. So we're going to work hard at RFK Media to support these bands and their songs and their shows and try and get them out to a wider audience.
Yeah, that's great, Ron. And yes, I'm the same as you. I'm still that kid inside. And every time I hear something new, I might get sent, so many songs for consideration in the podcast. So almost every night I try to listen to at least a couple of things before I call it a night and go see my wife.
Well, let me interview you. When you get a new song, and I get these all day, man, hundreds of them every day, just like you do. We're getting the same stuff. And what grabs, because you can't listen to all of them. They're all emailed. And what grabs you to make you say, I'll give this a listen?
Well, it depends on the day, right? But I try to listen to everything. I do try to do that. So sometimes I just go, what's my oldest email that I haven't touched yet? And I work my way down.
Good for you.
Or if I happen to see a name that I know the player's name that's involved in this piece of music, it's somebody that I'm familiar with, at least to some degree, like at least I know the name, right? Then I will give that priority and listen to that first to see, okay, well, what is this? like when Elegant Weapons, which is Richie
Oh yeah.
Faulkner, when I got sent that initial song, I saw his name. I'm like, oh, I like him in Priest. I gotta check this out. So that rose to
Yeah.
the top a little bit because I had to hear what it sounded like because I'm a fan from the other band.
Absolutely.
So it varies, but I do try to kind of do things in date order. Um, and if and sometimes, you hear something and it's a bummer. It's not that great. It's not what you thought it would be, or the production's poor.
Yeah.
But then other times you listen to something, you're like, oh my God, why did I not ever hear of this band until this moment? I wish I'd have known
Yeah.
about them
I
sooner.
love those songs like that. And we get them every now and then as well. Songs that'll just wreck your day. Because you got an agenda, you got business, you got a playlist to build, you got all this stuff to do, and this song just knocks you on your ass, and you just got to listen to it again. And you
Yeah.
sit there and hit the space bar. I've done it a couple of times. Crashing Wayward, a band that we worked with a couple of years ago, was one of those. I heard Stranger Days, and it wrecked my day. I really, literally, I mean, I can't do. I've just got to hear it again. So you
Right.
got to watch out for those day wreckers. But man, the more the merrier. And guys like us have to. Somebody's got to stand up for these new up and coming artists or older artists that are still releasing relevant new music as well, new classic rock.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it all. And yes, just like you, am I going to go back and listen to Stained Class from Priest or maybe an Iron Maiden album
Yeah.
or Aerosmith Rocks or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, I'm going to go back and listen to that as well throughout the course of my week. I always listen to something from my old days too, and I still get excited by that music as well. But the getting excited about new music is where I think you and me are a little more rare that we get that level of excitement or want to hear it that much. I think a lot of folks are in our age bracket. They're not really seeking it out that much, but they should be because there's a lot of great stuff out there. And I'll give you an earworm if you didn't already hear this one.
Okay.
You can check this out later in your day. Kings of Karma, Falling to Pieces. Have you heard
Okay.
that track?
I have not.
It's going to be an earworm. You're going to hear the melody in your head for a while after you.
I can't wait. Right on. Thanks.
You're welcome. But let's get back to your music. So Rick Fox the other day had reposted a post that I had made and it was like, oh wow, I can't believe it's been a year now, which was the premiere of the Steeler "Give Me Guitars or Give Me Death" video coming out. So we just hit the 1-year anniversary for that video.
Yeah. So
And-
1-year anniversary, happy anniversary. Now the people that like old music can go back and relive that moment and enjoy some old Steeler music from last year.
Exactly. But that got me thinking. When you were here last, we did talk a little bit about maybe some more Steeler music down the road. Is that still in your pipeline, possibly?
Man, we're trying to find the right. Well, first of all, it starts with the songs, and we have written 3 new songs that I'm pretty excited about, and how to go about doing that in a way that is commercially viable yet satisfies that need within us to really put an exclamation point on that career, because we've got the new movie coming out, the Steeler documentary film, which has been in play since we shot the video last year. So it's been over a year in the making. We've got interviews with some major rock stars and industry insiders talking about their reflections of Steeler. All the members of the band are interviewed in the film as well. Extensive interviews with everybody in the lineup. And it's just really well done. Produced, directed by David Pear, who does all the Dead Daisies video content. And I'm patient. I thought we'd have it done and out by now, but I think there's got to be some new music to correspond with that movie release, whether the new songs end up in the film or as an EP to coincide with that release. I'm not really sure how to wrap my head around the marketing of Steeler, but I know that there's a fire within all the guys in the band to keep working together and create something special.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, when Rick reposted that the other day, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I got to listen to the song again. It's been a little while, so I listened to it for about the 1800th time or something. But
You still like it?
still love it.
Oh, thanks,
like
man.
it.
Me too. And that's a really special song for me. And how do you top that? Because you want to try. You may not be able to, but I think you have to try to even top that. And it is a timeless anthem about metal and guitars and this falling in love with hard rock music and hearing those guitars for the first time and changing your life. And just the performances, the riff, the vocal. I mean, and it's nothing. There's nothing really acrobatic or special about that vocal, but it reminds me. I probably said this last time. It sounds like Bon Scott singing with Judas Priest, which I thought was a really cool analogy to characterize that song. So I'm really proud of it, and if we can top it, great. If we, I do believe that these 3 new songs at least should see the light of day, man. And we're excited about where this path leads at this stage of the game and at this point in our lives and our careers. We have nothing to prove to anyone but ourselves.
Right. Yeah. Well, and obviously everything you do is for the sheer love of doing it anyway. That's obvious. But it's also impressive how much you've put out in just these last few years. I mean, I think I said this to you last time, it's like sometimes as we go through life, you start running out of gas in the tank. Instead, your tank's overflowing,
Yeah, I'm driven to create, Ralph. That's my driving force at the core of my being is I got to build something, whether it's building a song or building a show or building a radio station or building a company or a comic book or a movie. I've got to create something. And you do that for the sheer love of it. Like you said, you write songs because they have to come out. It's not in my control. When a song is percolating or fermenting within me, it's like going to the bathroom, man. You got to go. It's going to happen. You can't control it. It's just got to pour out of you, right? And that's the fun part. That's the magical, musical moment that you love and live for. And then there's something in your DNA that kicks in after you write it, after you create it. You go, oh, I got to put this out. I got to release this. How do I market this? How do I promote this? It's like the business sense starts to take over, and you got something that you're really proud of that you want to share with people. And how do you go about doing that in the best way in this day and age with the state of the industry and technology and all that? You can, and you have to make a profit. I mean, it's not a hobby for me. Right. I do write those songs and create the stuff with. That's just what I'm driven to do. If I don't do that, then I'm not me. So I don't know what that non-creative Ron doesn't exist. I am a creative guy and I got to build something. But once you create it, then you got to figure out how to make a profit from it. And It's not just break even. It's not a hobby. It's a business. And how to survive and succeed in the business in this day and age is quite a challenge.
Honest to God, it is. I mean, all I ever can think of always is just the live performances is the only way to recoup your investment, it seems like, and even that's hard with the cost of travel and everything. But,
yeah, it's expensive to do that with my band. I mean, you figure 5 band, 2 crew, the 7 guys, airfare, payroll, hotels, just that. You're looking at 10 grand,
Right.
And it's really tough. That's why we don't do more shows. It's just too expensive. Everybody that works with me or for me gets paid. And that's just how it's got to be, man. There's sometimes you'll do a charity benefit, of course, and try and raise money for a good cause. I do that at least a couple of times a year. We'll participate in benefits for our veterans or for families struggling with cancer. I do 2 of those events every year, and that's just part of giving back.
Right.
But I find that musicians, you can boss them around a little better if you're paying them well. If you're not paying them, they're not going to take any of your crap. But if you're paying them, they'll do the job. And my guys are great, man. I got a great band, and we've had another good year. With our residency at the Sturgis Rally since I last spoke to you. That was fantastic. A new bass player, Troy Johnson, who was with Stephen Piercy for 12 years. So this guy knows the ropes, and we get along great. We had a great residency at the Sturgis Rally and a big event with Ace Frehley. We got to play with Ace at Kick It Up Country. It was a big country festival, but they have a rock night. On Wednesday, it's rock night, and it's Ace Frehley and Ron Keel. So I got to meet Ace, hang with him, get some photos, and just talk for a little while, just the two of us backstage. And I'll treasure that. Of course, you don't know that 4 months later he's going to be dead. So
Right.
that makes it all that much more special. So we've had some good shows this year, a lot of great memories, and looking forward to a lot more next year. You're going to ask about what's going on next year, right? Or I'll just start talking about it.
Well, of course, I have to know. Do we have? Because I didn't end up making it. We talked about maybe meeting up in Nashville again this year.
That's right.
So, of course, yes. What do you got going on?
Well, I'm going back to South America. I did a South American tour a couple of years ago, and I thought, well, that's great. Cross it off the bucket list, and I'm glad I did that because the audiences were incredible. The shows were sold out, and just a great thrill. And they've asked me back, not only, but this time it's Peru, Mexico. And I've never played in Mexico except playing the bongos on the street corner. I did some of that. But I've got 2 shows in Mexico and then Colombia and Peru. So I'm excited about that in May. And we've got the M pre-party, which is, the big M3 festival in Maryland every year. M pre is the unofficial pre-party, which is the night before the event. And RFK Media, our company, is sponsoring the event. Now, will Ron Keel be there? We're sponsoring the event. I'm helping to promote the event. I think I have to be there, right?
So,
and if I'm there, what are the chances of me actually grabbing a microphone and singing? Probably pretty good. So no promises, no guarantees, but I can tell you right now that big M pre-party right before M3 weekend, the first weekend in May, that's going to be a big one, and RFK Media is sponsoring that event. So maybe I'll see you there.
Awesome. And speaking of RFK Media, I was going to ask you the radio station. You mentioned it earlier, and I had seen like you were doing like a relaunch or something. Were you redoing something with the station?
The station, my station manager had to move on. Corey Harker, who was brilliant, he was my partner and a genius, really good at this stuff. He had to move on, and I was at a crossroads. Do we just pull the plug or do I rebuild it from scratch? And like I said earlier, I'm creative. I like to build stuff.
Right.
So let's just rebuild the radio station, right? And I started with my catalog. So for a couple of weeks there, it was all RFK Media artists. All the Rod Keel albums are in rotation, A Cold Sweat, The Fifth, Crashing Wayward, all that. So I built the playlist with that as the foundation, and then every day we're adding 100 songs or so to the playlist. Now we're up to about 2,500 songs and getting some of the shows back on the air. Dee Snider, House of Hair is back on, Rich Embry's Power Hour, Charlie Kendall's Metal Shop, and the Classic Metal Show live on Saturday nights. So the station it's up and running right now. You can listen right now. I've still got a few tweaks I want to make and some imaging to add and, all the bells and whistles. And I want to be able to go live more often. Right. I did hop on live a couple of times for some interviews that flying by the seat of my pants and hoping that I'm hitting the right buttons, So it worked. It worked and it sounded good. So we're going to do more of that, more live interaction with the audience and the listeners. And I'm really proud that we were able to keep that thing going, man, because I love broadcasting. It's in your blood.
Right.
You get that. It's creative. It's musical. It's fun. It's exciting. And
absolutely,
but it is a product, and I want the best possible product we can deliver. Because face it, you're competing with Spotify and iTunes and YouTube Music and Amazon Music, and those are very tough to compete with. So you've got to offer something special, something different, and it's quite a challenge.
But you are something special and different simply because
I'm different.
How many of those have somebody that really knows the music, right? That they don't. So, and that's probably all AI curated mostly anyways. So that is what makes yours special, because you've got a knowledgeable, true music person involved. That's
well, I'm enjoying it. I'm thank you for mentioning that. I haven't really done a big promotional push to say, hey, we're back. That's going to happen December 1st. By December 1st, within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have all the little tweaks made so that it's just firing on all the cylinders that I want it to. And It's really close. It's a good listen. I listen to it every day myself. I'm a big fan. So it's really good. I think it's cool. And I appreciate that we have these fans, these listeners that really love it. And when it went away for a minute, they missed it. And that to me was motivation enough to keep it going.
Good. All right. So we've got the shows coming up in May of 26. And you got at least 2 bands that you're releasing records for in 26. And then how about yourself? I know we talked maybe about some Steeler possibly, and the documentary may be coming out as well, hopefully. What about any new Ron Keel or, another Keel World follow-up or anything like that?
That's a tall order. It starts with one song, and then you get a second song. And we've got 2 unreleased songs from Keel World that are recorded without lyrics. I don't have the lyrics for them yet, but the music's done and they're really good. So I've got to shut myself away here in the basement for a week or so and just really hone in on the lyrics and vocals for those. So there's definitely new Ron Keel band music in the pipeline. Whether that will evolve into an entire album or not, we'll see. I'm really, I like to kind of go with the flow. Life is a river, and you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. And if I commit to it, I can guarantee it and promise it. But right now, all I can promise you is I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep creating. I'm going to keep doing what I love to do and what I'm best at. Because I'm not really good at anything else. I can't work around the house. I can't work on the cars. I don't know how the motorcycle runs. I think I can start the thing up and kind of steer it, but I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a carpenter. I'm just a music guy and a creative guy, and I've learned a little bit about the business through the years. So I can promise you that part of me is never going to stop or slow down.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap things up. The new comic book, you guys. You got to check it out. I'm going to get that. And that was your lovely bride that did that cover, right?
That was Renee Keel, my wife, ReneeKeel.com. She is doing album cover art for RFK Media artists and some other artists. She's had some big art exhibits here in Sioux Falls this summer. Really proud of her. And she did this album cover or comic book cover for us. And it's really cool, man. It brings back to life some of those special moments. And each segment is divided into these pages. You maybe can see that. We call them the transition pages. And they wanted to create that artificially with scans of the different pieces of memorabilia from my life and career. I said, no, we're going to do this for real. So I literally spread all that on the floor here where I'm at in the studio. And I spread all that stuff out on the floor and took pictures of it. So those are real collage pictures. I dropped something very special. I got to pick that up. Each comic book comes with a pull-out poster that I'm autographing. I haven't signed this one yet, but it's got a poster on the inside that I'm going to sign. And everybody who orders the comic book at rfkmediashop.com gets a free signed poster in their comic book.
Awesome. And guys, you can get just the comic book, but you can also see the movie star side. There's a combo package available of the DVD of the movie and the comic book, because that's what I'm going for.
All right. You got it, boss. And also the Patreon All Access members. See, this comes full circle to that collage page that I had here. The all the stuff in the picture, the records and flyers and backstage passes and concert tickets from back in the day. What I did for our all access members at patreon.com/Ron Keel was I put a little piece of that in their comic book shipment. Oh, so nice. They all got, every all access member at patreon.com got some special piece of memorabilia out of my private collection.
Wow. How special is that? That's really cool.
Well, it helps me clean out the basement, and the fans seem to really be enjoying it. So we're serving both purposes. Awesome. Feeding 2 dogs.
Awesome. Well, Ron, thank you for continuing to be a creative force, my friend. I'm always happy to hear new music from you, and these other projects. I like the comic book. I was blown away when I saw that. I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. A comic book. I never would have thought about that. So
Well, rock and roll and comic books go back to that Kiss
right.
comic, Marvel Comics. They use their own blood in the ink, and there have been a lot more in the years since. Alice Cooper had his own comic book. Metallica. There's a real synergy there with comic books and rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to hear the comic book sing, you could watch the new video for The Last Ride, because that's the comic book come to life.
That's right. That's right. And we are going to play The Last Ride at least, so you can at least hear the song. But check out the video over on YouTube. And maybe if I can figure out how to do it, because I'm not as technically good as you are, but maybe I can get the video linked into the video version of our conversation here as well.
That would be great.
So I'll try to do that.
Good luck. If you need any help, let me know. If you need the actual video file, I can send that to you as well.
I might need that actually. I could probably do it.
I know people.
Okay, good. I'm so fortunate that I know people too.
Yeah, I know the guy who has that file right on this laptop right here.
Well, that's good. I'm going to have you email that to me.
Okay.
But anyway, everybody, Ron Keel, still rocking. And by the way, it was nice that you caught up with Jamie St. James, because another legacy act creating some couple of great new songs too.
Yeah.
Blue. So I thought that was cool that you guys connected. So anyway, Ron Keel, Ron Keel Band, Metal Cowboy, he does it all. RFKmedia.com, RFKmediashop.com. Get the comic book. I suggest also getting the movie, because I think it'll be interesting to see Ron in his role.
It's a collector's item. Let's put it that way. I'm signing copies of the DVD, and it's a collectible. I don't know how watchable it is, but it's certainly collectible.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, everybody. Ron, thank you. I'm glad we got our what I'm now going to call our annual catch up. So good to see you and talk with you again. And everybody, stick around now. If you're watching this, I'm going to get the video in here so you can watch The Last Ride. And for those of you just listening, crank it up, because you're going to love this song, and play it really loud. Enjoy. Thank you, Ron Keel, for coming by Radio Bypass.
My pleasure.